In Season 14, Kevin Beets has left Gold Rush again. It took place in Episode 15 when Kevin, the trauma expert on the Beets team, fixed some machinery. When the trauma roller rings were set up with skilled sledgehammer hits, the crew replaced the water pump with a check valve. This worked until the water pump belt broke and caught fire. The Beet Boys got into a heated fight, and Kevin had to leave the show because he was so angry. Was this really the reason Kevin left? It might be something else. Let's talk about why Kevin Beets quit Season 14 of Gold Rush. Why Kevin Beets really quit Gold Rush. Kevin Beets quit the show after the fight, but his father, Tony Beets, made him an offer that made him want to stay on the team on his own. This offer didn't work because Kevin flatly turned it down for some reason, so he could go home. Kevin didn't seem to want to be a part of anything related to the show or mine anymore. Fans are now guessing the real reason Kevin quit the Beets crew, because they're not sure that his leaving was just because of that fight. Everybody is sure that Kevin really quit his dad's mining crew because he felt like his dad didn't respect him lots of the time. Since he was 13, Kevin has worked on his dad's crew, and he feels like his dad doesn't appreciate or thank him enough for his hard work. Parker Schnabel, a young and hopeful gold miner, showed Tony Beets around his Dominion Creek property and talked about the cutting-edge, high-tech equipment there. This made Kevin feel even more ignored and unappreciated. Parker wants to get a lot of money for these pieces of equipment. Tony Beets surprised everyone by publicly praising Parker for his work and accomplishments in the mining business, which made Kevin very sad. Kevin must have felt down when his father gave him praise, since that was something he worked so hard for from the time he was a teenager. Kevin couldn't understand why his family liked saying nice things about other people, but not about him. In the one case where he hurt himself with the water pump belt, they were quick to blame him. Even though Tony Beets said nice things about Parker, he went on to say how proud he was of what Parker had accomplished and how the young, ambitious miner's unwavering commitment had helped him reach great heights of success. Kevin was deeply troubled by the thought that his father had always had this kind side, but he hadn't seen it as the oldest son, no matter how hard he worked and how focused he was on his work. When Tony complimented Parker Schnabel, he said that Tony had a big part in helping him get to where he is now. This made Kevin even more angry. That was all. Kevin wasn't willing to put up with this because the friendly conversation hit him hard. He has always wanted his father to touch a sensitive spot with praise and thanks. Now a stranger is getting all of that, even though he didn't work as hard for his dad. Parker's public praise made it clear to the whole team that Tony admired Parker's hard work and accomplishments, but his own son is still found wanting and unable to measure up. Kevin kept thinking about this, and the full meaning of his dad's praise slowly became clear to him. He realized that this was a tough pill to swallow. He couldn't keep working hard at a job that didn't seem to care about him or appreciate it. He only needed a good reason to take a break from working and being with the team. As it turned out, the fact that his father didn't praise him told him a lot about his lack of the skills needed to be a good miner. Why is a guy like him still working there when he's not doing anything useful? There is already a miner there who has done well in business and whose father knows about him. What is the point of staying put, working hard, and not being seen much? Kevin Beets had to remember the time in Season 14 of the Gold Rush when he missed a very important mining job. His dad called him, but not to check on him, but to tell him he was late for work. On Reddit, some fans even said that Tony always treats him like he's not worth much, which means he must be really tired. Tony could definitely do a better job of taking care of Kevin, since he has always been very important to his father's mining business. Tony is one of the best gold miners in the world on the TV show Gold Rush, because Kevin is so good at what he does. Kevin would benefit greatly from a short break away from the mine pit, to relax and think critically. While this is going on, Tony Beets' approval is making it clear that Kevin and Parker are not on the same page. Those words of recognition could hurt the relationship between the two young gold workers, even if they are not aware of it. Tony only says nice things about Parker Schnabel, but he doesn't know that his own son secretly wants the same thing. Now more than ever, Kevin really wants to be Parker's job. This is what he's always wanted since he joined the mining crew when he was 13 and led his own team when he was 19. He should be praised for that. So why doesn't his dad tell him that? How come it's so easy for a stranger to get? Kevin must have thought about these questions a lot because he became sad and looked for a way to leave the team. Tony's actions broke up any idea Kevin had that his dad really valued his work and accomplishments. What Tony did, on the other hand, made it very clear what his goals are and where his heart really is. Kevin's heart sank even more when he thought about where his dad's heart really is thanks to the praise he gave Parker. Not only Kevin is starting to wonder if his father really loves and cares for him. People have also noticed that Tony and Kevin don't get along very well. and they're sure that Kevin's decision to leave Gold Rush has deeper causes, such as Tony's failure, whether he knows it or not, to publicly praise his son for all his hard work and accomplishments. It couldn't have been because of the heated argument that happened in episode 15 when the water pump belt broke. No, that was just a reasonable reason Kevin used to leave the team. He did this to hide the fact that he felt ignored and unappreciated. Kevin was getting tired of working hard and giving it his all, but not getting noticed by the person he really wanted to be noticed by. He needed a break from it all, a break that is not in the mine. A break with Faith Teng, his beautiful girlfriend, whom he began meeting in 2019. Fans from all over the world are used to seeing Tony Beets work with his smart son, Kevin Beets. No one is sure when the powerful duo will work together again, though, because they need to improve how they talk to each other and start meeting each other's unmet needs. Today, Kevin called Tony Beets on video chat to say that he wants to take a year off from mine. This came as a surprise to Tony Beets after the heated argument with the water pump belt. Faith and Kevin Teng said that they wanted to take some time to garden and fix up their house when asked why he left so quickly. As he called their reason for leaving a bad one, Tony Beets didn't like this. Kevin had to wait until the very last minute to tell him he was going, which made him mad. Tony wasn't able to find a backup for Kevin in time, because Kevin was so important to the team's mining work. Tony couldn't understand why his son had to put him in a tough spot for Gold Rush Season 14. If there was already tension between him and his son, it got worse. Getting used to life without Kevin Beets, and Tony Beets, the Klondike gold miner, didn't like it when Kevin Beets left. Kevin's absence has left the crew with big technical holes and caused fights within the team. Tony Beets and Minnie Beets, his wife, didn't seem to believe their son's reason for leaving the mine crew so quickly. Tony now has to make the tough decision of finding a good person to fill the spot Kevin left open. Could someone on his team fill in for Kevin? Or would he hire someone new from the outside? Tony is a family man, so it looks like he has other ideas. He says that he wants his family to be in charge of running the mine. Minnie, Kevin's mother, has accepted that her son won't be on the show. She was quoted as saying, "Things change, and sometimes we have no choice." Tony is also okay with Kevin not being here for a year. He told Kevin that he'll have to find a trustworthy person to take his son's place while he's gone. We didn't have to look for long, because Tony quickly decided that his daughter, Monica, would be the best person to fill in for Kevin until Kevin could come back. Nicole, Kevin's younger sister, is now in charge of the plant, because Tony kept his promise to keep the mine's activities within the family. Monica is the youngest of the Beets family. She spent a lot of time with her dad at the mine and learned about how it worked. The skills she has gained in making the machines work since she was 12 have made her very skilled. When she was 18, she was old enough to work full-time with her dad and know her way around the mines. Now that she's an adult, she has the skills to easily fill in for her smart brother and make things easier for her dad. What is Kevin Beets doing right now? It's clear that Kevin Beets plans to spend this break with his girlfriend, even though he said he only wants to farm and fix up his house for a year. As you might expect, Kevin just wants to spend more time with her to forget about how unappreciated he feels at work. This is because of his crazy work schedule and the fact that they only started dating in 2019. Fans are making up these wild ideas because neither Discovery Channel nor Kevin Beets have said for sure why he quit Gold Rush Season 14. Kevin has worked with his father since he was 13 years old, making him 36 years old. Kevin quickly learned how to mine for gold as a child, following in the footsteps of his famous father. At age 19, he was already running his own crews and was considered a genius. Since then, he has been an important part of the Beets crew for many years, coming up with new ideas that helped his father become one of the best gold mines in the world. Once Kevin has spent so much time in mining, he should take a break and look into other job opportunities. People are still waiting to find out if Kevin's absence from the group will lead to a change, or if Tony has really fallen in love with Parker Schnabel instead of his own son. The woman who won't let Kevin go to Gold Rush. Kevin Beets isn't just leaving the fame and excitement of Gold Rush for a dull life with no real thrills. From the video call Kevin had with his dad, it was clear that Faith Teng would be the person Kevin runs back to. She was with him and has been by his side since they met in 2019. Kevin keeps his private life very private and doesn't like talking about his girlfriend or other people who are close to him. It looks like Faith Teng doesn't use social media much on her own, so fans can only hope to see more of her on the show. Kevin has been going out with Faith for a long time, and he'll use this break to get closer to her. What do you know? It's possible that wedding bells will start to ring. Faith Teng's face looks like it has Asian roots, and her last name alone shows that she is Asian. When the Beets group needs help, Faith steps in sometimes. She seems to get along well with Kevin's sister Monica, as Monica Beets' Instagram page has a picture of her. Because the Beets family likes her, there won't be much trouble when she gets married and becomes part of the family. Kevin and Faith were seen together for the first time at the Specialty Equipment Market Association in 2019. Since then, those in love haven't shared many or any public photos. When Faith Tang's scene is on, it makes the Gold Rush show more interesting. She hasn't said anything about getting married in public, but fans can look forward to seeing more of her in new Gold Rush shows. The King of Gold Mines. There is always a family involved in gold mining because the main gold miner always gives the job to someone in the family. Wives help out by keeping an eye on how the crew members do their jobs, while the kids keep learning about the business from a young age and getting help until they're ready to join in and eventually take over. This family-centered business plan has worked for other successful gold miners, and Tony Beets, who is known as the King of Gold Mining, was not going to be any different. Kevin was born on June 10, 1988, into the Beets family. He has a younger brother named Mike and a younger sister named Monica. Kevin started showing great motor engineering skills at a very young age. His dad saw how naturally skilled he was at running big machines in the gold mine. So that he could use his child's natural talent for the benefit of the family business, Tony started teaching Kevin how to mine for gold when he was very young. Little Kevin was interested in more than just the tools he found in the mine. It was also easy for him to weld. Along the way, he learned that and also got better at fixing things. His main attention, though, was on the gold mine, which was what interested his father the most. As Kevin got closer to being a teenager, he started to work on everything his dad had taught him until he was able to run the big machines like a pro. His skill level quickly caught up to that of the adults on the Beet crew, even though he was still a kid. Tony was proud of his work as he watched his son happily run the tools. He knew that he had made a good successor. Because of this, Tony and Minnie Beets were proud when they sent their 13-year-old son Kevin to work in the gold mines. Kevin was now a real kid working for the Beets. At first, people might have written him off because of his age, but then they would have seen how well he ran the tools and got work done for the Beets crew. Kevin was both a caring kid and an important part of the family gold mining business. He worked as a team member for his father for the rest of his teenage years. He was in charge of the Eureka campsite for 3 years and then went to work with his father on the main dig. These were some of the most important things he did during this time. Kevin, as a child, left his mark on the gold mine pit wherever he was. He did this to show how valuable he was and how he could never be replaced. When he was on the group, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Because Kevin could handle important jobs when his dad Tony Beets had to be away for some reason, he felt safe. At this point, Kevin wasn't the only person getting help with getting into the gold mine business. For the same reason, his younger brothers Mike and Monica were taught how mining works. Monica and Mike both showed flashes of brilliance as they worked hard to learn how to run tools and work the gold mine. Monica wasn't as impressive as her older brother, but she was a good backup who could easily step in when Kevin was sick or hurt and couldn't do his normal work. She had no idea that she would be taking over for Kevin when he quit the gold mine business for a year down the road. Now she's using everything she's learned from her master father, Tony Beets, over the years to fix the technical problems that Kevin's departure has caused. Going back to when Kevin was a teenager and working in the mine, his mind was getting even bigger every year with the new problems he solved. Like all the greats, every problem he faced and couldn't solve made him look for active answers. This made him even more aware of his limitations. He was thrown into a long, dark period of learning, during which he looked for new, modern tools that would help him cut down on wasted time and triple the Beets crew's output. Teenager Kevin got taller and smarter every year as he learned more about the gold mine business. At one point, he was head and shoulders bigger than everyone else on the Beets crew when they were mining for gold. At the young age of 19, Kevin started taking his own groups on successful gold mining trips. This wasn't a surprise. The Beets family was once again very proud as they saw their little boy grow up and become a strong young man who could handle himself in the gold mine game. Kevin first showed up on Gold Rush in the 5th episode of 2013 as a member of the Beets group. As a teen and adult, Kevin led several teams and helped his father's gold mining business reach great heights, making a lot of money for the family. When there are tough problems that no one else on the crew can fix, Kevin Beets should be in charge. His parents exposed him to the Gold Rush show, so he can go on a few times. It wasn't long before people saw how smart Tony Beets' son was, and he quickly became famous all over the country, just like his father. Kevin, who was 26 years old at the time, worked at the Paradise Hill claim and took apart the Beets Bacon Strip Machine 1 at Eureka Creek claim and Clear Creek. In the 5th episode of the show, this took place. Kevin has become a well-known TV personality and major cast member since then. Kevin is known as the gold mine prince around the world, second only to his father. He likes to do a lot of motor work, weld, and fabricate things when he's not in front of the TV working magic for his dad's gold mine. He actually admitted that being a mechanic is not only fun, but also very fulfilling. The Prince of Gold Mining likes to do more than just important things. In his free time, he also likes to cook, make songs, and dive. Kevin has raised the stakes of gold mining to a whole new level as an adult. He now wants to use the newest technologies in digging and mining to help the Beets crew make more money. Kevin is worth around $2 million right now. The fact that Tony Beets' son is now worth a huge $15 million shows that all the time and money he spent on him as a child paid off. Besides that, every member of his Beets crew makes between $10,000 and $25,000 in every Gold Rush show. The names Tony and Kevin Beets have really earned because they've done great things for the gold mining business. Kevin, did you have to leave Gold Rush? It's not just Kevin quitting Gold Rush Season 14 that hurts the most. The mental distance Kevin has between himself and his father is what made him leave in the first place. There are good relationships between Kevin and his family members. However, he does sometimes argue with his younger sister Monica about the best ways to do something. He seems to be doing pretty well with all the attention that comes with being the famous gold miner, Tony Beets' first kid. Fans all over the world are upset that Kevin isn't on the show, and they don't seem to be taking it well. It's clear that everyone is blaming the fact that his father never gives him praise or words of support. Could this be something that Tony Beets did on purpose? It looks like Tony doesn't give his smart son praise on purpose, so he doesn't get too proud of his high potential and impressive accomplishments. Kevin must have tried very hard to please his father when he was younger, so this parenting style might have worked for him. But we can't say the same thing about it now, that Kevin is an adult and needs help from his dad. Now it's even worse when his dad says those nice things about Parker Schnabel when he is younger. Parker is 6 years younger than Kevin. He seems to be more successful in business than Kevin, but not smarter. Parker even has his own Gold Rush game, which is called Gold Rush, Parker's Trail. Kevin must have felt very inadequate after seeing Parker brag about his gold mine skills in front of his dad. When Tony praised Parker, it was like his father had just given him the most valuable pearl he had ever wanted to a younger, wealthier rival. It wasn't a surprise when Kevin began acting strangely and then quit his job to video call his dad. Before Kevin talked to Faith Tang on the phone, Tony could be heard mumbling something about his son being late for Gold Rush. Kevin must have seen that scene because it was shown all over the country. It makes sense that Kevin didn't want to talk to his dad again after the call finished. Kevin Beets, who is very smart, won't be back on Gold Rush for another year. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to our station. Don't leave the page yet. Click the movie on the screen to see more cool videos.
Prepare to embark on an extraordinary adventure as we delve deep into the heart of Parker's gold mining expedition, where fortune meets hard work in a season like no other. In a riveting twist of fate, Parker Schnabel, the mining prodigy, has unearthed an astonishing $14 million worth of shimmering gold during this remarkable season. In spite of the many difficulties and disappointments he encounters, Parker ultimately achieves a significant deal of accomplishment. He takes a chance by putting his most advanced washing facility on very fertile land, which results in complications brought on by an abundance of water. Despite this, Parker is able to find a solution to the problem and continues his search for gold. Mitch had to leave the crew in order to safeguard his family from the neighboring wildfires, which presents the group with yet another challenge with 5 weeks left in the season. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a vast, rugged terrain with the sun setting behind the horizon, casting a golden hue over the landscape. The clinking of shovels against rock, the rumbling of heavy machinery, and the anticipation in the air create an atmosphere charged with excitement and anticipation. Parker, armed with unwavering determination and a heart full of dreams, has once again pushed the boundaries of what's possible in the world of gold mining. Step into a world where dreams are as precious as the metal they seek, and where the stakes have never been higher. This is a season that will leave you breathless and in awe of the incredible journey that is Parker's record-breaking $14 million gold rush. Brennan assumes leadership and is immediately put under pressure to locate the treasure. They continue their mining operations despite the tensions and disappointments that they are experiencing. Parker, having realized the significance of adhering to the fundamentals, apologizes to Brennan and reiterates that their primary objective is to earn sufficient funds to purchase new land for the following season. A stunning 7,504.9 ounces of gold with a value of close to $14 million are mined by Parker's workers at the conclusion of the season, shattering their previous record for the amount of gold extracted. Celebration and happiness follow the success of the endeavor. Parker is extremely ecstatic about the recent decline in the price of petrol, as well as the rise in the price of gold. This comes at a time when he is getting ready to buy a piece of land in Alaska. Earning money is essential for him in order to save up for the next purchase he intends to make. He takes a risk by operating his most advanced washing plant on the most mineral-rich ground they have ever mined. But the large amount of water offers a risk that the plant would collapse into the pond if it is not handled properly. He takes a risk by operating his most advanced washing plant on the most mineral-rich ground they have ever mined. He was successful in finding a solution to the problem, and he is now eagerly anticipating the prospect of finding gold under the ground. Despite the fact that there are just 5 weeks left in the season, his staff still has a significant amount of work that they need to complete. They are struck a blow, however, when Mitch discovers that there are wildfires in the region close to his property and makes the decision to remove his family in order to protect them from the danger. Brennan is now in charge and must continue to search for the treasure despite the increased amount of stress. His explosive temper is caused by his frustration with the bad job that was done, as well as the obligation to walk the floors. In spite of the challenges, they are pushing forward with the mining operations, and emphasizes how important it is to ensure that their work is consistent with the basics at all times. Before the onset of winter, Parker is going to require Brendan's assistance in clearing the runway of any mine debris. They plan to earn a profit that is sufficient to enable them to purchase additional acreage in time for the following growing season. In the penultimate segment of the current season, Parker's crew is successful in extracting a total of 7,504.9 troy ounces of gold, which, based on the high prices of gold in the year 2020, has a worth of around $14 million. The group now holds the new record thanks to this accomplishment. To celebrate the accomplishment, cheers and laughing are used throughout the entire process. As the reserves that Parker Schnabel and his crew have begun to deplete, they are faced with the challenge of locating new mining land. They have plans to mine a new part of land that is 60 feet deep, and the quantity of gold that they are looking for is 8,000 troy ounces. Parker is well aware that the absence of Brennan throughout this season would make things more complicated than usual, but despite this, they are determined to make it work nevertheless. However, the first pans of muck that they dig out from Muck Mountain only bring up a few flakes of gold here and there. This is a really disappointing turn of events. In spite of this setback, Parker makes the decision to proceed, putting his faith in the results of the drilling and thinking that the material will yield better results after it is processed through the wash facility. He does this because he is confident that the results will improve. The fact that Parker Schnabel is rapidly exhausting his supplies gives him with the challenge of scouting out new mining terrain, which he must do in order to continue his mining operations. He organizes a meeting of his workers in order to discuss the approach that will be employed for the forthcoming season, which will require mining a new part of ground that is 60 feet deep. In the meeting, they discuss the strategy that will be used. They believe that there could be 8,000 ounces of gold at the bottom, but they are aware that it will be a difficult endeavor that requires a different method than what they have used in the past. Despite this, they continue to maintain their optimistic estimate. Parker is aware that it won't be simple because Brennan won't be around this season, but he and the other members of the squad are determined to make it work, regardless of the challenges that they will face. As they move forward with the process of excavating the new ground, they run across obstacles here and there. Gold Rush is a hugely successful reality show that airs on Discovery Channel and features Parker Schnabel as the show's primary protagonist. The show focuses on the activities and endeavors of gold miners and diggers in the state of Alaska. Because of his consistent display of talent, Parker is an essential member of both the cast and the staff of the show. The show is his primary source of income. However, he also works at the Big Nugget Mine, which was built by his grandfather, John Schnabel. During the 4th season, he put some of his money toward his education in preparation for starting his own mining business in the future. He was just declaring that he had a bright future in the business when he managed to unearth 1,029 ounces of gold in Klondike. This is proof that he has a bright future in the industry. Subscribed yet? Do so now for more thrilling updates on Gold Rush. The first few pans of mud from Mud Mountain turn out to be unproductive for Parker and his crew, as they only produce a few flakes of gold. Parker is concerned about the amount of time and resources that have already been committed in the project up to this point. In spite of the obstacle, he makes the decision to carry on and put his faith in the results of their drilling. They have high hopes that the material, after being processed by the wash facility, would produce more desirable results. As we wrap up this glittering chapter of Parker's journey, we're left with a heart full of awe and inspiration. The tale of mining, perseverance, and dreams fulfilled is one that will resonate for years to come. As the gold dust settles and the sun sets on this remarkable season, remember that the spirit of adventure and determination lives on. Join us next time for even more thrilling exploits, as Parker continues to chase his dreams and break new records. Until then, keep the spirit of discovery alive and let Parker's monumental achievement remind you that with passion and unwavering dedication, you too can unearth your own golden dreams. Thank you for being part of this incredible journey, and stay tuned for more epic adventures with Parker Schnabel. Until next time, keep your hopes high and your dreams even higher.
A lot of people work hard behind the scenes to keep Parker Schnabel's Yukon mining business running, but fans want to know how much Parker's crew members get paid while they risk their lives and limbs churning pay dirt 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the harsh Klondike. Which workers make almost $500,000 a year running Parker's risky business? Come along on this fun trip as we look closely at how much Schnabel's group makes. Gold Rush is a hit show on the Discovery Channel that keeps the attention on young mining mogul Parker Schnabel every week. Millions of people follow his brave journey to get gold from the harsh Klondike Desert. Fans watch Parker lead the way in each important mining milestone, but they don't notice the daily risks and sacrifices of his entire staff. Parker was very open on social media when he talked about what his hardworking team gets to take home after months of digging. His openness was a welcome gift for all the people who want to know how much these regular workers on his salary make. Parker says that the new workers on his Yukon mine crew put in 75 hours a week for weeks during the short summer mining season. In general, they make about 34 Canadian dollars an hour. Paying by the hour might sound like a pretty cool job, but Parker's claim, which is based on being physically and mentally drained to the limit, says it's about CAD 65,000 over 25 weeks, or about 6 months, because of the hard Yukon winter that stops digging. Taxes and living costs at camp are taken into account, and new crew members' take-home pay gets closer and closer to CAD 40,000. It was a very hard job. Parker also said that teams work 12-hour shifts that are very strictly scheduled and start working together at 7 o'clock a.m. until 7 o'clock at night, when the summer sun in Alaska lets it. As the short season grows older and the days get shorter, shift changes begin at 8 o'clock a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. Parker gives his best workers some nice bonuses, even though the starting pay may not seem like much for the amount of work that is expected. The mine's huge fleet of rock trucks are some of Schnabel's most valuable assets, and the machine workers who are in charge of them can make more than $40,000 a year in Canadian dollars. These skilled miners drive huge Caterpillar trucks that can carry up to 50 tons of ore from the fields to the wash plant. Their never-ending runs are key to beating Parker's high 4,000-ounce, $6 million season gold goal. Even though it's hard on their bodies and takes a lot of time, workers who are put in charge of these important tasks could make 6 figures. Thanks to Parker's openness, fans now know more about how much Parker's crew makes. However, it's important to remember that the numbers he shared are medians and averages, not exact amounts. Pay for entry-level jobs changes depending on experience, bonuses are kept secret, and the amounts given could be in Canadian dollars instead of US dollars. As we've already talked about, Schnabel's new crew members work 75-hour weeks their first season. In just 5 days, that's more than twice as many hours as a normal 40-hour office job. And when mine is busy and there is a lot of daylight, those long shifts last from 7 a.m. until just before midnight. There are millions of dollars at stake every season, and sitting idle cuts into profits too much. And when your boss is a taskmaster like Parker Schnabel, you can't skip steps or take too long to do something. Speaking of the boss, let's see how much does Parker Schnabel make. Discussing Parker Schnabel's financial journey, it's intriguing to delve into his early years at Big Nugget, his grandfather's mining firm. From a young age, he displayed an uncanny aptitude for heavy machinery. operating equipment even before reaching pedal height. The question arises, did he commence earning a substantial income at such a tender age, and how has his net worth evolved over the years? Born on July 22, 1994, in Haines, Alaska, Parker Schnabel's journey in the mining industry commenced in his grandfather's firm, where he earned his stripes and eventually amassed a net worth of $15 million. His hard work in gold prospecting and mining, coupled with his foray into reality television, has significantly contributed to this impressive figure. The pivotal inquiry remains: what is the extent of his earnings? Parker's earnings from reality TV are notable, with payments per episode ranging from $10,000 to $25,000. For comparison, fellow cast member Jack Hoffman earns approximately $10,000 per episode. Consequently, Parker's annual income is estimated to surpass $1 million, solely from his involvement in the show Gold Rush. However, this leads to a crucial consideration. How does his income from gold findings impact his overall wealth? Having appeared in 330 episodes of Gold Rush by 2023, Parker Schnabel left his family mine in Season 4, extracting a remarkable 28 kg, 60 pounds of gold in a year. Additionally, his participation in and production of spin-offs like Gold Rush The Dirt and Gold Rush Parker's Trail further bolstered his financial standing. By the age of 24, he had mined gold valued at over $16 million. Beyond the glamorous figures, it's essential to account for expenses and salaries associated with his mining ventures. While the exact amount of his share remains undisclosed, making assumptions based on his considerable expenditures offers a perspective. Parker Schnabel's diverse car collection, ranging from modern marvels like the Ford F-150 Raptor and Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, to vintage classics such as a 1967 Ford Mustang GT500 and a 1970 Chevrolet C10 pickup truck, exemplifies his taste for the finer things. In addition to his mining pursuits, Schnabel has successfully ventured into entrepreneurship. He owns a mining company and has established a line of gold mining equipment. A published author as well, he penned 2 books, namely Gold Rush: My Story and Parker Schnabel's Gold Rush Alaska, providing insights into his experiences as a gold miner. This multifaceted approach to wealth creation highlights Parker Schnabel's business acumen beyond the glitz of reality television. Because Schnabel is so open, his work shows us what might be coming next. The most important question is whether the people who want to work there can handle the long hours, sore feet, and boring jobs that are needed to not only find gold specks, but also fill pockets with coins. Now let's take a look at some of Parker's thrilling finds. Parker, 27, says he mined nearly 7,000 ounces of gold worth $12.8 million with days left in his season. He advised putting as much gold in the box as quickly as possible and making as much money as possible to fund a second procedure next year. Prior to the Yukon winter freezing them out, Parker needed to collect nearly 350 ounces of gold to beat his record. Parker relied on factory manager Tyson Lee and top technician and informant Mitch Blaschke. He confirmed they spent more than last year. He had spent $5.4 million going to the bottom of Mud Mountain and hadn't broken even, but he was on a roll. If enough were there, Parker claimed he could win big. Parker noted that the remaining drilling was the best, therefore there remained optimism. Mitch and operator Damon Brown were ready to remove the last gold-rich pay dirt. Mitch stated they have to deliver the last road payment to Big Red and draw the dewatering pump to finish Mud Mountain Cut. Considering their inventory before they started, Damon said Mud Mountain had 1 hopper. Mitch praised Damon's work and advised shutting down the factory. Mitch whooped with joy when they shut down Big Red at Mud Mountain for the last time. Mitch stated they would know the gold totals once Chris completed the final cleanup and see how much they could obtain. Parker told his team hours after the sluices stopped that they would get little gold in a season with many bills. Parker inquired what they wanted to do to solve it. Parker sought another rapid score before winter, still short of last year's 7,500-ounce total. Parker reminded them that when Mitch tore up the road at the airfield in Zone 3, they still felt the land below was fine. There was still possibility. Mitch's risk to mine ground under a road at the airfield for 281.50 ounces paid off earlier in the season. Parker said he will relocate a wash plant to that part of road near the river to start setting things up. Mitch could start that and prepare his staff, right? Mitch agreed they could. Parker quipped that he would clean gold again since there was a lot. Parker's 5M gold haul. Nona, a crew member, accidentally ruined a Big Red pipeline. The system suffered considerable damage. Nona called for aid. The dozer had snagged and torn the pipeline in half, releasing everything from the wash facility. It split the pipeline in two and also destroyed the wash plant manifold. As bypass, this provided plant water to the pre-wash. This was considered the worst possible situation at the time. She was gone when it took this pipe off. A 90-degree manifold linked the pump pipeline to the plant. A 90-degree manifold connecting the bypass and wash plant water supply was damaged. Mitch had to disconnect the bypass that controlled water flow, strip the manifold hoses, and reattach them to the plant. This crude repair may increase water pressure and flush gold from the sluice. After cutting off the damaged portion, they fused the pipe back together, saying it was like magic. Next, Mitch bent a flexible hose from the water supply to the wash plant. Mitch confirmed that they would need a flat 8-inch section to reach their water line without a bypass. Mitch relied on the pump for water pressure. The water flow resumed. After 4 hours, $30,000, and lost gold, they resumed pay dirt. Big Red's pipeline disaster was not new. Parker thought Nona was punishing herself hard for causing it. Parker rushed to get all the gold from Big Red before winter shut him down. However, he was in his D11 dozer to address a more important matter. Parker said it was difficult because they were behind on gold and wanted to get it out of the ground. But if they didn't undertake reclamation, they wouldn't have a future. The staff turned down the pump again due to another issue. A dirt-filled plant was described. From the distribution box, water and pay dirt were uniformly distributed throughout 4 sluice lines. Justin overloaded the facility to boost output, obstructing the distribution box and backing up Big Red. They then attempted system repair. Parker was close to breaking last year's 7,504 ounce mark when the season ended. Parker required 420 ounces of gold each week from his wash plants to keep on pace. Gold counting and weighing began. First gold weight, 115.4 ounces. Parker invested nearly $5 million in Mud Mountain and required 900 ounces to benefit from the cut. The following weight yielded 368.45 ounces. That may be the series' finest gold discovery. Lucifer plant manager Tyson Lee and foreman Mitch Blaschke attended the season's first double gold weigh. Parker told Ken that Big Red was put up well by the team. Parker said Mitch and Brennan usually work together, which was excellent, but Tyson stepped up. Parker noted that this was their first cleaning on Ken's land, which was thrilling. Ken said he hadn't seen gold in 40 years. Parker opened the week 900 ounces below last season's total. Both plants had to average 235 ounces to equal last season. Parker commanded someone to yell numbers and poured out gold to weigh. First gold weight, 208.75 ounces. For the second batch from Big Red, the gold weight measured 263.8 ounces and was worth nearly $475,000. Parker stated Big Red had gotten him back up to speed. Thanks for watching. While you're still here, make sure to click the video on your screen for more mind-blowing videos.
In Haines, Alaska, Parker Schnabel, a young gold miner, was born to his grandfather, John Schnabel. John Schnabel was the miner's grandfather. His experience taught him the importance of putting in a lot of effort and the results of each gold nugget that he extracted from the ground. By the time he was 16 years old, he had taken over the family firm and started making deals with prominent figures in the mining industry, such as Tony Beets. He also had the ability to get land leases and demonstrate his capabilities on national television. He had amassed more than $13 million worth of gold by the time he was 25 years old. On the other hand, the high expense of pursuing gold was accompanied by the costs that were associated with operating a mining operation. The equipment that his team had to transport was so expensive that it might be compared to the price of some people's homes. These machines required continual maintenance, operators with specialized skills, and a substantial amount of gasoline. Another mound of cash was labor of some kind. When he made the decision to invest in Dominion Creek, he put $15 million into that enterprise in the hopes of receiving a return that would propel his career to the next level. The celebrity that comes with being on reality television comes with a number of benefits, including admirers, public recognition, and a consistent revenue stream that is not necessarily dependent on the price of gold. On the other hand, it comes with a spotlight that has the potential to make every failure feel a little bit more painful. As a result of Parker's investigation, he discovered that when the cameras are on, people are waiting for errors, which are what keep reality television going. However, despite the fact that his crew toiled relentlessly and put in 75-hour weeks, the weight of leadership was firmly on his shoulders. It wasn't simply that they were employees, they were also the ones who knew him when he was at his worst and in the gutter. Not only did he owe them a wage, but he also believed that this business could continue to function. His personal life was falling apart in addition to the strain that was being placed on his finances. It was during the 7th season of Gold Rush that viewers had the opportunity to become acquainted with Ashley Ewell, an Australian veterinarian nurse. He had been in a relationship with her. The termination of their relationship in the year 2017 left him obviously upset, and the fact that he was emotionally vulnerable in that way does not make mining any different. In the moment that Parker disclosed that he had declared bankruptcy, he accepted defeat, so revealing a level of betrayal that extended beyond monetary considerations.
Walk away.
Yeah, walk away.
I'm gonna go get a thermos.
Is there some gold here?
Yeah, we're gonna waste.
The stark fact that gold mining is unpredictable, hazardous, and may even be downright unpleasant is the subject of this narrative. The devastating disappointment that comes when you pour all you have, time, money, and sweat, into the land and the earth decides to keep its treasures buried is there. The joy of a good haul and the exhilaration of seeing numbers go up are only two examples of the emotions that can be experienced. In his time working in the mining sector, gold miner Parker Schnabel has seen a great deal of failure and difficulty in terms of his finances. In the gold mining industry, the highs are powerful, but the lows cause you to rethink everything, from the decisions you make in business to the relationships you have. Although fame can magnify achievement, it also has the potential to make defeat more isolated. Downsizing is not just about cutting costs. It is also about telling individuals who have put their trust in you that they do not have a job anymore. Parker may have to start making difficult decisions regarding his finances in order to do this. Dominion Creek presents yet another obstacle, which is the looming question of whether or not he will be able to keep things functional. In addition to the need for additional people, fuel, and equipment, the cash flow is beginning to dry up. There have been times when Parker's presence on social media has been a double-edged sword. While social media platforms like his Instagram and Twitter allow him to maintain his connection with his supporters, they also provide the general public with a front-row seat to his shortcomings. It may be challenging to deal with this situation when he is attempting to maintain a positive mood for himself and his staff. The bond that Parker has with his family, and in especially the teachings that he has learned from his grandfather, John Schnabel, is at the center of everything that is going on here.
Are you going to wheel me up?
Yeah.
Okay, anytime.
Parker has been able to persevere despite the fact that everything else appeared to be coming apart, because he learnt from him the qualities of hard work, tenacity, and perseverance. However, even these lessons do not necessarily make it easier to accept the hard realities of failure after they have been experienced. The mining of gold is not just about gold. It is also about hope, danger, and the belief that there is something greater waiting for you if you dig deep enough. In spite of the fact that Parker has spent the most of his life believing in that concept, he is suddenly confronted with the opposite side of the coin. When there is no gold at the bottom of the pan, what are the things that happen? Parker is not the first miner to suffer a significant loss, and it is highly unlikely that he will be the last. The fact that Parker is accomplishing all of this while millions of people are watching is what makes him stand out from the crowd. All of the mistakes and failures that have occurred are now available for the general world to view. It won't be simple for Parker to take the next step. It is difficult to make a living in mining, and the financial losses he has sustained are significant. However, it is possible that there is something to be said about the manner in which he continues to get up, even when circumstances appear to be dire. When it comes to gold mining, tenacity is just as important as luck, and Parker possesses both of these qualities in plenty. Is that sufficient to have a positive impact on the situation? Time is the only thing that can tell. A Dutch gold miner, upon discovering that his stationary dredges were not going to get him to his aim, made the decision to concentrate on an abandoned trommel machine that had been constructed by a renegade miner several decades earlier. This is the story that centers around the Dutch gold miner. As opposed to transporting material to a predetermined spot, The trommel provided mobility and the freedom to move with pay soil. In order to return to base camp, the miner was required to disassemble and transport the trommel, which resulted in a daily expenditure of more than $60,000. The steep terrain and boat voyage made the journey challenging. One truck had a damaged tire and twisted rim, but the miner was unharmed. The crew worked hard to disassemble and transfer the trommel, moving the 20-ton drum onto a military tank transporter despite adverse conditions. During the trip, the truck got bogged in the mud and needed a backhoe loader to release it. The mining boss was pleased when they returned the trommel to camp after 3 days. The mobile trommel appeared efficient and flexible since it could handle massive amounts of material faster than anything else the digger had employed. As gold prices were at an all-time high, the miner relied on the trommel. The mining operator always thought long-term and took risks, and the trommel was a future investment. It helped him keep his business going despite all the challenges.
Pipe layer to see what happens.
The mining veteran had previously spent over $1 million on a custom excavator to dig 9,000 ounces of gold. His prosperity came from smart investments and taking chances that others wouldn't. The Dutch miner was known for his tough management style, which was not always well appreciated. After throwing gasoline into a dredge pond and lighting it on fire, he was criticized and fined for environmental infractions. His harsh treatment of employees, especially during failures, often irritated them. Safety and the insistence on correcting mistakes created a high-pressure workplace. Living on a reality show made things harder. The prospector was scrutinized by the public because his every move was broadcast. The risk-taker knew his actions would have consequences, whether they violated environmental laws or mistreated his crew. However, he remained true to himself, took risks, took responsibility for his actions, and handled criticism. In the mining veteran's ongoing struggle to remain gold game leader, the trommel was just another episode. The risk-taker had always gambled, and this time it paid off. Mechanical problems and tough terrain plagued Yukon mining. However, his determination was unwavering. It was a gamble, but the trommel helped him meet his output goals and reaffirm his purpose in life.
The Beets family faces a race against time as they try to extract dirt from the frozen mining cut. But as the temperature rises, so do their challenges. Would they be able to fix their problems in time for the day's mine, or would they go back home disappointed? Stay tuned to find out. In the heart of the operation, Kevin Beets finds himself battling a mechanical breakdown in one of the trucks. With the fleet frozen, their efficiency takes a hit, and the pressure is on. He complains sadly about the amount of time they have wasted and how important it is for the continuity of their show that the trucks get back on track. He says that if they don't fix the truck as soon as they can, they will be seriously behind their schedule. Meanwhile, the relentless Ruby Mahoney is digging deep, uncovering signs of gold in the soil. The promise of hitting the fabled white channel page keeps the team motivated, but challenges persist. Back at the truck, Kevin faces another breakdown, putting operations on hold. The radio crackles with urgency as the team scrambles to fix the issues and keep the tight schedule intact. Again, Kevin complains about how hard it is coping with the excesses of the rock, breaking down from time to time without any signs. He emphasizes the need for the trucks to be back in action ASAP. The mining team, despite setbacks, presses on with determination. Tony Beets takes charge, strategizing to salvage the situation and keep the mining operation on track. Like Kevin, Tony sees how important it is for them to avoid any more setbacks. Time is of the essence if they want to make the quota for the day. He rallied the team, and soon enough, the machines began to work and they began to set the ball rolling. Over at the wash plant, Fred Lewis seeks guidance from Parker. Equipment issues threaten to compromise Fred's gold production target for the season. Fred and Parker talk about the issues they have with their equipment and the urgent need for a solution. Because if they don't find a remedy to this problem, they may not be able to continue with the series. Fred makes the tough call to shut down the wash plant, creating doubt about the viability of reaching the season's gold target. The team, however, remains determined. Just when the morale of the workers seem to have been given a little push, another problem strikes. Dave encounters difficulties with a jammed tail pulley, causing another setback. The team works tirelessly to resolve the issue and resume operations. Amidst the challenges, a potential gold discovery in a broken rock renews hope for Dave's team. Despite setbacks, the miners remain committed to overcoming obstacles for a successful season. Dave's confidence, and that of the other miners, is renewed by the discovery, despite the hiccups they encountered. He is sure that they will strike gold more than they have ever struck before. In a bold move, Fred Lewis decides to tackle the frozen creek obstructing their mining claim. Facing an icy barrier, the team orchestrates a plan involving a massive pump to melt the ice. The risky operation requires careful navigation, and Fred, tethered to a safety rope, takes the plunge into the unknown. The team successfully activates the pump, spraying a powerful stream of water onto the frozen creek. As the water penetrates the ice, Fred cautiously makes his way across, ensuring the safety of the crew. While the ice slowly yields to the relentless force of the water, concerns arise among the crew. The unpredictability of the situation and the potential risks weigh heavily on their minds. Instead of getting worried and worked up, the crew members enjoy the rush, excitement, and anxiety of the whole season. Their utmost hope, however, is that everything goes according to plan. After hours of vigorously battling the frozen barrier, the team's perseverance pays off. The pump successfully carves a path through the ice, allowing them access to the vital equipment on the other side. With the creek conquered, Fred's team regains access to crucial equipment, and mining operations resume. The victory over the icy challenge injects a renewed sense of determination into the crew as they push forward, undeterred by the harsh Alaskan conditions. As the crew returns to mining operations, they encounter a series of challenges that put their skills and machinery to the test. Faulty equipment and unexpected shutdowns become a recurring theme, threatening the efficiency of the entire operation. The pressure is on as they strive to extract as much gold as possible within a limited time frame. Amidst the chaos, expert operator Ruby Mahoney emerges as a key player. With tenacity and determination, she tirelessly operates the machinery, digging deeper into the cold soil in pursuit of the elusive gold. Ruby's expertise becomes a beacon of hope, providing the team with a glimmer of success in the challenging conditions. Meanwhile, Tony's son Mike leads the charge in a massive effort to strip 700,000 tons of dirt from the cold coat. The goal is to hit Paradise Hill's fabled White Channel Pay within a week. A breakthrough moment occurs as they discover what appears to be the distinctive iron-stained yellow soil, a potential indicator of gold-rich ground. The urgency escalates as unexpected setbacks plague the operation. Kevin, Tony's chief mechanic, faces the challenge of keeping the fleet of rock trucks in working order. With multiple breakdowns and a critical shortage of essential parts, the team is forced to make crucial decisions on the fly, further intensifying the race against time. With the clock ticking, Mike Beets strategies to maximize the extraction of dirt from the cold coat. The ambitious goal of hitting Paradise Hill's White Channel Pay within a week requires a relentless pursuit of efficiency. The Beets family invests everything they have, mobilizing their resources to ensure the success of this high-stakes endeavor. The pressure intensifies as Tony's chief mechanic, Kevin Beets, faces a mechanical nightmare. The rock trucks, essential for hauling dirt, face constant breakdowns, each one threatening to derail the entire operation. Kevin's mechanical prowess is put to the ultimate test as he battles missing bolts, broken parts, and a relentless race against time. The turning point arrives as expert operator Ruby Mahoney uncovers signs of gold in the cold coat. The distinctive yellow soil, coupled with rounded riverbed rocks, suggests the presence of gold-rich ground. The discovery ignites a spark of hope, fueling the team's determination to persist in their quest for the legendary White Channel Pay. Meanwhile, mine boss Fred Lewis faces a critical decision. Despite dealing with faulty equipment, Fred remains committed to mining the challenging terrain. However, the gold yields fall significantly short of the targeted 60 ounces per week. Faced with financial challenges and an uncertain future, Fred contemplates the viability of continuing the operation. In a surprising turn of events, Parker Schnabel, a seasoned gold miner, offers his insights to Fred Lewis. Parker, passing by the Lewis mining site on his way to his Alaskan claims, provides valuable advice on the challenges Fred's operation is facing. The encounter sparks a moment of reflection for Fred as he grapples with the complexities of the Alaskan gold mining season. As Kevin Beets battles the mechanical challenges, the urgency to overhaul the rock trucks intensifies. With several bolts missing and crucial components breaking down, the fleet faces a major setback. Kevin, along with the team, engages in a marathon of repairs, welding, and replacements, determined to bring the trucks back into operational condition. Mike Beets takes a calculated risk by leaving the critical mining site to fetch additional trucks from the Indian. Betting on a swift return, Mike leaves the operation in the hands of the remaining crew members. The decision is a high-stakes gamble, hoping that the gain in truck numbers will outweigh the potential loss in operational momentum during his absence. Tony Beets faces a managerial dilemma as the mining operation grapples with unexpected breakdowns and delays. With a third of the rock trucks out of action due to mechanical issues, Tony contemplates alternative plans. The need to balance immediate solutions with long-term strategies puts Tony in a tight spot, testing his leadership in the face of adversity. Expert operator Ruby Mahoney becomes the unsung hero as she embarks on a relentless digging marathon. Working day and night, Ruby pushes the machinery to its limits, determined to reach the fabled White Channel pay. Her unwavering commitment sets the tone for the entire team, instilling a sense of hope and determination amidst the challenging conditions. Fred Lewis finds himself at a crossroads as the challenges mount. With only 118 ounces of gold, well short of the targeted 500 ounces for the season, Fred contemplates the harsh reality. The race against time becomes more pressing as winter looms, adding a layer of complexity to the already challenging decision-making process. The unforgiving Alaskan wilderness continues to throw curveballs at the miners, from mechanical breakdowns to managerial dilemmas and the relentless pursuit of gold. The unpredictable nature of the terrain tests the resilience, adaptability, and sheer determination of each team member. As they navigate through the twists and turns, the outcome remains uncertain, making every decision a critical turning point in the quest for Alaskan gold. The mining drama continues, with each twist and turn testing the miners' resilience and determination. Will their collective efforts lead them to the golden bounty they seek, or will the challenges prove insurmountable? Stay tuned for the next thrilling chapter of Gold Rush: Trials of the Thaw. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this roller coaster journey through the Alaskan wilderness.